Hi, it's Erik Paulsen and welcome to the Correspondence Corner this week. Last week I spent some time with some students who were recognized and honored for their service to our community. I attended the Chanhassen Rotary Club's breakfast where they gave out 28 different scholarships to those high school seniors that are getting ready to go to college, and also provided great community service to our community, just like Rotarians do. I also gave 3 different Congressional Leadership Awards to 3 students who were exemplary in providing community service as well. If you're interested in learning more about that, visit my website at paulsen.house.gov and you can see how you can earn a congressional award down the road. But I'm going to talk about an issue before we get into our questions, about an issue that's been very important to me. We've talked about it in our Correspondence Corner for those of you that have sent in questions or even phone called or sent in an email. And that's this issue of human trafficking. I've had the privilege of engaging and meeting with victims groups, people like Vanita Carter, a survivor who runs Breaking Free. Met with law enforcement, spent some time with Sergeant Grant Snyder in the Minneapolis Police Department, met with the St. Paul Police Department, learning what their task force is doing to combat human trafficking and sex trafficking. And this has been an issue now that has become very important to me. As the father of 4 daughters, it's certainly on my conscience. I will tell you this, we've had some success. We passed a series of 5 different bills in the House this week, all with bipartisan support, making sure we're not only going to be able to crack down on the demand for sex trafficking and human trafficking, and also helping law enforcement, but we're also going to be focusing on getting these victims the services and counseling that they deserve. My legislation was one of those bills that passed, providing safe harbor laws, just like states like Minnesota do, to make sure that these 12, 13, and 14-year-old girls are not going to be prosecuted as criminals, but they will be treated as victims and get services they deserve. We'll be able to combat and halt this horrific epidemic of sex trafficking that actually is occurring in our own backyards. Now we're going to take a question though. I heard this week from LaVon in Coon Rapids, and actually LaVon emailed in about an issue that many of you have been calling in this week because it's been in the news. She says, "Dear Congressman Paulsen, as a veterans advocate, I expect the highest standards from the agency primarily tasked with serving the veterans entrusted to their care, the Department of Veterans Affairs. But when veterans see a regional office losing ground and wait times increasing in the fight to reduce the claims backlog, they grow frustrated when leadership continues as if nothing was wrong. When veterans see mismanagement practices in their healthcare system, that puts patients at risk. Veterans want to see leadership change to show a commitment from the top down that says their health and safety are the top priority of the VA. The actions at the VA are unacceptable and Congress needs to take action." LaVon, you are absolutely correct. Our veterans have paid a tremendous sacrifice for our country and they deserve the best care possible. Unfortunately, as we've been learning, that has not been occurring. We've learned about 40 veterans dying at the Phoenix VA while waiting for their appointments. We now know there are 300,000 veterans that are on wait lists over 125 days. We also know there are 26 VA hospitals that are under investigation now for cooking the books and doctoring the logs to show that there aren't actual backlogs there when in fact there were. Accountability is required. And Congress took action in the House. We passed a bipartisan legislation that guarantees and gives the Secretary of the VA the authority to fire anyone that is caught with this type of mismanagement, gross mismanagement, and hold those accountable. I can also assure you that Congress is going to continue to pay close attention to this. We want to make sure the administration takes this seriously as well. Thanks for providing your thoughts, your questions, your ideas. Don't hesitate to reach out anytime with your idea, your question, your thought at Facebook. You can reach me on the website at house.paulsen.gov or on Twitter. And I want to encourage everyone to have a wonderful Memorial Day weekend. And always remember to thank those that served our nation's country, especially those families, for someone who's given the ultimate sacrifice.